Hello, mortals. Zach here with an exciting announcement. Because of you, our show has been growing. We can make all the content or promotions we want, but it's because of your ongoing support, ratings, reviews, recommendations, posts, comments, Patreon memberships, and just overall engagement that Mortals and Portals has been able to stand out amongst a sea of actual play podcasts. To say thank you for your overwhelming support, we'll be hosting a public live stream on our YouTube channel Saturday, December 9th from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're like me and struggle to figure out time zones, that's a start time of 11 a.m. in Los Angeles, California, 2 p.m. in New York City, New York, 7 p.m. in London, England, 8 p.m. in Berlin, Germany, Sunday at 6 a.m. in Sydney, Australia, and Sunday at 8 a.m. in Wellington, New Zealand. We know we have listeners all over the globe, so we did our best to pick a time that is doable for everyone. But the live stream will be recorded if you can't make it, so don't worry. During the live stream, we'll be hanging out, answering questions, playing games, and even doing a couple giveaways for those that attend, including a chance to have Adam draw your character. Should be a good time. We'll be including this announcement in all episodes leading up to the live stream, as well as posting about it on our social medias. But make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out. We can't wait to see you all there and show our appreciation. All right, that's enough announcements. Episode starting now. Hello, and welcome back to Mortals and Portals, a Pathfinder real play podcast. I'm your host and GM, Zach, and joining me at the table is
Joel, and I play Dax, a kobold rogue.
Oh, yeah, that's me now. I'm Ryan. I am undecided.
And Adam
Darren
is...
and I play...
Wow,
sorry.
we're so
I
off
already
right now.
started.
We need Adam. We need him.
You go ahead, Zach. Tell about it.
No, you gotta do it, otherwise it's gonna break everything, I'm pretty sure.
Taryn and I play Waltz, a human champion.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, Adam's not here because he quit, because he's like, you know what, I'm unconscious, this sucks.
We're taking replacements, so send your resumes to 123 Bluegrass Tallgrass Lane, or wherever you live, Zach.
Yeah,
Zach
that works.
Nasty.
Yeah, so if you want to be Jules, you have to take over as Jules. Just until Adam gets back, because he didn't actually quit, and he's just actually busy tonight. And we're like, that's fine, dude. You're unconscious. I'm pretty sure it takes you a whole day to regain consciousness with Pathfinder rules. So you know what? Take the night off. We got it. Just live with your guilt of killing Ryu indirectly.
Right.
You know, let's all just take a moment to reflect on that.
I'll never forgive him for my actions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely don't accept any blame. Just putting that out there right now. So don't even try me.
Correct.
All right, so last time on Mortals and Portals, Dax continued to fight this monster, tried to get away with the arcanor. He managed to hide, evade. The monster seemed to be distracted by something else out in the swamp, took off. Dax used that opportunity to do some battle medicine on himself, heal himself up a bit, and then just try and make his way to the wall somewhere in the vault, just to origin himself somewhere and maybe find a way out. Took off into the swamp to do that. And then Waltz went to go visit Geldir to figure out what these visions he was having of a dead Dax that seemed to be correlated with any time he damaged Geldir in their fight, maybe signaling that Geldir needed to be commander or needed to survive or something like that. So he went down in the cell, started talking to Geldir. Geldir seemed pretty distraught, angry at Waltz. And Waltz was pretty angry too, and he wanted to figure out if Geldir knew anything about these visions. Geldir was, of course, confused, and also at one point gestured to Dunadast in the cell, basically saying that Waltz and Digsby's crew has led to nothing but death, including Dunadast's death. And Waltz went into the cell and confirmed that it was Dunadast, and he did in fact die, and it just made Waltz even more determined. And he got pretty stern with Geldir, told him he needed to provide some value or he was going to just maybe kill him. And then Geldir proposed a plan after figuring out that Dax is in there and Waltz is in there and Sindor's on his way, and they're basically screwed, and said, hey, how about this? How about you look all suspicious and leave Scalekeep in a hurry? When Sindor shows up, the Drake Knights will say, hey, our commander Waltz just left, looking all suspicious. And Sindor would be like, Waltz? You mean Digsby's crew? Waltz? Also, where's my Arcanor? I'm going to go find Waltz. He'd go do that. Meanwhile, Geldir would go rescue Dax somehow. And the two of them would ride off and have the old Geldir Dax show for the remainder of the campaign while Waltz got ran down by Sindor and who knows what happened. Waltz didn't like that plan. Did some social engineering with Geldir and got him to reveal part of his plan, which would be to blow a hole in the vault because he hypothesized that Dax was still in there because the doors were closed, there's no holes in the wall, but the Arcanor's gone, so he's probably trapped. So Walt said, cool, I'll do that. And then he made sure that Geldir was locked in the vault. Geldir said, hey, wait, will you send this letter to my daughter? And Waltz picked up the letter again and left Geldir behind and took off to go break Dax out. Meanwhile, Dax was attacked by a snake or something, and the monster showed back up, and oh my gosh, I gotta get out of here, starts sprinting to the wall. Meanwhile, Waltz goes and picks up some sunpowder from the armory, runs past all his Drake Knights looking super suspicious, says he's gonna set off fireworks for Sindor, sets him against the wall, blows a hole in the wall. Happens to be where Dax was at, damaged Dax a bit, and then Waltz said, hey, Dax, we gotta go. And that is where we ended our session.
Incredible. I do want to clarify, when you first described the snake, you called it a squishy log, and snake was definitely the last thing on my mind as to what he was about to fight.
Are snakes not just squishy logs, though?
I mean, I
Yeah, they definitely
guess.
are.
Well, now that I think about it.
It's like Trash Panda, like for raccoons, but
Yeah,
snakes
yeah.
are just squishy logs. Hey, where are the squishy logs at? Walks into the zoo. You mean
That'd be a
snakes,
good
sir?
sports team name.
Yes. I have no idea what's going on. So maybe you guys can tell me what your plan is. So, Dax, you're covered in some rubble from this sudden explosion. You've been pursued by these monsters. You look over your shoulder, you see them crushed by the boulders. You look up through the smoke. You see Walt standing there looking heroic, hair finely coiffed, probably looking a little stressed. He says, hey, Dax, we gotta go. What do you do, Dax?
My God, Waltz, you came for me.
Hey, Dax, did you find it?
Dax will kind of part his cloak to the side, put his hand on the arcanor. Got it right here, bud.
Waltz, you see a subtle multicolored glow originating within the core of a diamond with corkscrew grooves on it, and it certainly looks like an important device.
Yeah, Waltz will maybe be captivated by this crazy, magical, unique-looking item, and then say, good, we got to get going.
Yeah, I don't know what other kind of monsters are in there, but I don't want to find out.
And I will just start running towards the stables, and hopefully Dax follows behind me.
Yeah, I'm right behind.
Can you roll me a perception check, both of you?
25.
So right as you step out, Dax, you see that Waltz is beginning to explain and talk frantically with his hands, like kind of looking down at the ground and looking at you. And then you just look past him and see a bunch of Drake Knights gathered in the center of Scale Keep. And there's lots of shoving and pointing and weapons being drawn. And looks like some Drake Knights are trying to hold some back while others are trying to get through. You hear them yelling things like, they blew a bloody hole in the vault. There's no way Sindor would stand for this.
Oh, he's our captain. He's Commander Waltz. You gotta listen to him. No, you shut up, Glum. We're not putting up with this any longer. He didn't follow the right ritual. Oh, no, come on, guys, just calm down.
And it's just complete chaos. It looks like a lot of unrest, and some eyes shift towards the pair of you.
Waltz, keep your head on a swivel. And then I'll point towards the chaos that's happening.
Dax, we got to make it to the stables. There's some horses over there. I think we make a run for it. They should be distracted for a while.
Hey, I trust you. You know more about what's going on than I do. Let's go.
Waltz is very rushed right now. So I think he's just trying to move as quickly as he can to the stables while they're distracted for the short time that they are.
Okay.
While we're running, I would like to kind of glance over at Waltz, see how he's doing physically. You know, is he... I'm sure I'm noticing some of the blood and stuff. Is there, does he have any big, obvious wounds? Is there anything?
You can roll a
clearly
medicine
wrong
check,
with him?
maybe.
That is a 22.
Yeah, so you notice he has a lot of dried blood on him and things like that. Like he hasn't taken the time to really wash up or anything like that. And you can tell he took some punishing blows. But you also notice somebody has stitched him up and it looks fairly recent. So you notice he's looking a little better than you are right now.
Sure. I'll just take note of how he's doing and continue running. I'm not going to do anything about it right now.
All right, so the two of you make it up to the stables. You hear the commotion growing louder in the distance, raising your anxiety. The urgency is very clear. What do you do?
Man, Waltz, they don't seem too happy we're here.
No, they're not too happy right now. It's kind of funny. I actually became leader of the Drake Knights and fought against Geldir, and then sentenced Geldir to the prison.
You seem remarkably calm about all this.
I wish I could say I felt calm. So as soon as we get to the stables, I'll look for 2 horses and try and get them set up to ride.
Okay, yeah, so there's about 10 horses in there.
Dax, you know how to ride a horse?
I've never ridden a horse, but I've certainly ridden some creatures on my home planet. I would like to quickly discern if I can, maybe walking up to a couple of them and trying to pat them on the neck or whatever. Try to figure out a couple of the more docile ones, I guess. See what their reactions are to me.
Okay, can you roll me a nature check?
That is a 22.
All right, you're walking down the line trying to be very quick about this, trying not to have your urgency bleed into your interaction with the horses, trying to keep them calm the best you can. And you see a few horses that look very suitable for riding. They look very calm towards you. For a moment, you stop and think, I'm going to take these horses. But you continue scanning, and you see a very formidable looking horse. This horse looks like it's been to war many times, and it looks like it's ready for business. But there's only one horse like that. It seems to have taken a liking to you already.
Waltz, why don't you take one of these horses? These seem pretty docile. I'm going to hop on this one. And I will throw a saddle on if there's not one already. Start to untie him from the post and hop on.
All right, you hop right on. Waltz, can you roll me a nature check for one of the other horses with a +4 circumstance bonus?
Yes.
Because of Dax already interacting with him.
+4, you said?
Yep.
6.
No.
No, he said +4.
Yeah, +4, so 6.
Taryn, we're at the first step of our plan. It can't go sideways yet.
Oh, this is how reuse started.
Don't worry, it can only go up from here. Trust me.
Waltz, you sort of look over your shoulder and see Dax climb on this very magnificent looking horse. He literally just said he's never been on a horse, but he looks like he grew up around horses. And you get this like odd sense of jealousy in you in this like very odd time where you didn't feel like it'd come over and you want to look a little like you know your way around horses as well. So you do this like running jump onto the other horse, and right as you land on it, it just rears back and starts to charge out of the stables, bursts out of the door immediately. So you just kind of left Dax in the dust, and you're riding towards a group of Drake Knights, and they point over.
Oh, hey, look, he's trying to make an escape. I told you he's guilty. Grab your weapons.
And they all just start scattering around. Some of them are trying to grab bows, drawing swords. What do you do?
Yeah! Dax will try to subtly kick, or whatever the technical term is, try to get this horse going, maybe tighten the reins a little bit and start chasing after Waltz, try to catch up.
All right. Can you all roll me initiative?
Cool.
I was hoping this wouldn't be like a combat encounter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Is this perception initiative or just regular?
Should be nature.
Just
No.
roll Yeah, roll nature for initiative.
I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, Taryn.
God, 12.
Just the dirtiest of 20s.
Nice.
Ooh, gross.
All right, Dax. So you're going to just try and catch up. So you get to go first. So you're just trying to catch up to Waltz first, or anything else beyond that?
Yeah, at this point, I don't know where Waltz is trying to take us, where we're going. So I'm just going to try to catch up to Waltz. I guess how many actions does that take me before I...
Just one action and you're caught up to Waltz. He didn't get very far. It wasn't a very... The horse didn't take off into like a dead sprint. It just sort of galloped out of the stable.
Sure. As I catch up to Waltz, I'll reach into my bag, pull out a bundle of bandages. Hey, Waltz, looks like you could use some of these. And then I'll toss them to Waltz, which is just a fun way to describe I'm going to perform battle medicine on Waltz, which is an action. So that's a nat 1, my man.
This is exactly like how Reed
Are we all gonna die?
I don't like where this is going.
Only a percentage die.
Man.
Cannot believe that. A 61.
All right, that's decent enough that I'm just gonna count that as just a pretty standard failure. You go to throw the bandages, and you realize, like, as you throw them, that Waltz is still very busy trying to get a hold of his horse.
Wait. I'm so sorry to cut you off. There are rules for critical failure on a treat wounds. He takes damage.
Oh.
If
You killed him.
Critical failure, the target The target takes 1d8 damage.
You're gonna hit me in the head with the bandages.
Like, I don't know how you want to flavor that, but I don't want to get in trouble by the rules lawyers.
You accidentally throw an arrow instead.
All right, well, I was going to kind of let him off the hook with the 61%. So the target takes 1d8 damage, so I suppose I'll roll that.
1d8?
Yeah, dude. I don't
I
know
barely
how.
have a d8
I must have hit
health,
you really hard in the face with those bandages.
If Waltz goes down here, this
That'd be
campaign is
hilarious.
rigged.
But it's got to beat my AC, right?
Nope.
I'm so sorry.
Put your shield up, Waltz, quick. Dax is coming for you.
Waltz, Dax goes to throw the bandages, and you feel like you're ready to receive them, but the horse continues to buck in an unexpected way. It hits you in the head, and then you start to tilt off the side of your horse just a little bit, trying to regain your balance. And as you tilt over, you realize there was a Drake Knight running up with a sword that swings, and you suck back up just in time to stop it from absolutely cleaving through your chest, but it does slice your side and deal 2 damage. Could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
How's that for a flavorful critical failure on battle medicine description?
That's beautiful, dude. That's beautiful. Hey, I appreciate the help, buddy, but I'm a little busy up here.
So sorry. And then for my last action, I'd like to just look out over the battlefield, so to speak, and just take stock of what is happening with the Drake Knights. I know they were kind of split at the beginning, so I would just like to observe that a little more closely.
Can you roll a perception check?
Yep. Ooh, 25.
You can tell that some of them are on your side, it would seem, at least not willing to attack you, and are doing their best to fend off the swarm of Drake Knights that have clearly been able to discern that you guys do not have Sindor's intentions in mind. Sure. And there seems to be more of those Drake Knights, but there are some between you and them.
Awesome.
All right, and that'll take us to the Drake Knights that are on your side. You hear Glorm yell out,
Hey, that's Commander Waltz. What are you doing?
and he just takes out a dagger and whips it as hard as he can, and it just stabs that Drake Knight in the back of the head that just cut Waltz, and he face plants onto the ground, and then Glorm pulls out his sword, and he says,
Defend your commander!
Oh, yeah, defend your commander. Oh, wow, it's so exciting. And then he just pulls out a club that he has at his side, and then they just start running towards the other Drake Knights, and they just start clashing in the center of Scale Keep. And that'll take us to Waltz.
Waltz will look at Glorm and Whisk with such admiration and gratefulness that they're, continuing to be on his side, even though he just blew up the side of the vault that contained the arcanor.
He was super not cash money.
Yeah. Very thankful for their loyalty. And as he rides by, he'll be like, Get 'em, boys, and if anybody else wants to follow us, I hope you're ready to be lunch for Forgost. And he will head towards where Dax and Waltz came out from Forgost's lair. So I want to try and retake that same route if I can. So I want to use maybe 2 actions to move if I can. How far away am I from, I guess, the first gate?
It's completely across the courtyard, so you're about 200 feet. But you're on a riding horse, and you can use 2 actions on a riding horse to take 2 strides plus a 10-foot circumstance bonus to your speed So you can travel 100 feet with that.
Okay, so I will use 2 actions to do that, and I will use my third action to raise my shield.
All right.
In case Dax tries throwing more stuff at you.
And as you do that, it'll take us to the Drake Knights that are not on your side. Some arrows are going to be fired at you. Does a 19 hit you?
Negative.
Ooh.
Does a 21 hit you?
21 does not.
Yeah, baby.
And then that one wouldn't hit either. Okay, so tons of arrows are just volleyed at you. And right as they're coming, you lift your shield, and while it's on your arm, you see them coming at your back, and you quickly lift it up behind you over your head, and they all clank off of your shield as you gallop through the courtyard. And that'll take us to a couple other ones that are in front of Dax with spears. Does a 17 hit you, Dax?
No, it does not.
All right. What about a 19?
No, certainly doesn't.
All right, then an 18 wouldn't hit you either. So a bunch of them run up with spears and they go to stab at you, and this warhorse that you're on lifts its hooves up in the air menacingly, stomps them down, and buffs some to the side. Some of them get frightened. It is charging through. They dive out of the way. All of their stabs at you miss as you're galloping atop this warhorse, and that'll take us to Dax. What do you do?
I am going to just keep following Waltz for now. I'm going to also use 2 actions, move that 100 feet, just stay right behind him. And then I'm going to look ahead at where we're going, that tunnel entrance, see if there are any Drake Knights there or anything in the way, any obstacles I need to be prepared for.
Okay, roll it up.
18.
Dax, you're scanning ahead and you realize you've outrun the mass of Drake Knights. They are behind you at this point, thanks to the loyal Drake Knights that are hindering their movement. They're on foot. You do see behind you that some are trying to make their way towards the stables, trying to fight through the other Drake Knights to maybe pursue you. And then as you look forward, you do see the opening Forghost's lair down to that same tunnel you came in originally. And as you glance over that way, you do notice through a window of a building built into the wall, there does appear to be some potion storage.
Ooh.
But you do know you're in a hurry. And you could ride straight
Okay.
into the tunnel, so up to you. And that'll take us to the good Drake Knights that are continuing to fight. You see Glorm covered in blood.
Yes, finally. I've hated all these guys for so long. Where's that one that made us drag that deer? Whisk is like, he's right over here, Glorm. He's right over here. Yes.
And they just start trudging over to this other Drake. Like, oh, no, they said I had to. It wasn't up to me. And then they just raise up a sword and slash through him. And that'll
Whoa.
take us to Waltz.
Don't say it's
Golly.
Daniel. Was it Dan?
It wasn't Dan.
No, not Dan.
Oh, phew.
Dan's looking at Waltz, who just blocked all those arrows with his shield, and he's nodding with a tear in his eye. And he salutes, Godspeed, Commander!
Is Dan the Benjamin of the Drake Knights?
I guess.
No, Dan's a cool guy.
He's a good guy.
Oh,
He
what's
got
wrong-
me my,
what's wrong with
he got me
Benjamin?
my shield, dude. I'm going to name my
Good.
shield after him.
Benjamin got you your
He
sword.
did pass over the super powerful magical item and just got him a steel shield, but yeah.
It was labeled like Sindor Killer.
Yeah. For Commander Sindor Killer. He's illiterate, so he just...
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Waltz, what do you do?
All right, so Waltz is still just trying to beeline it towards that opening. He doesn't really know what they're going to do next. He does know that the Drake Knights still think that Forgost is alive. So if we can get to his lair, we can hopefully use that logic to at least buy us a little bit of time to come up with a plan or something. So I will keep moving towards that opening with those 2 actions.
All right, that'll get you all the way to the opening. Then you still have a third action.
Then I'll use my third action to move as well and get as far down that tunnel as I can.
All right, Waltz, you're slapping the reins on the horse. It lets out a whinny. You're blazing through the courtyard as arrows rain overhead. There's a weak wooden door in between you and the stairwell down the tunnel, and you just barge right through it on the horse and start to gallop down the stairs. And that'll take us back to the bad Drake Knights. They're going to fire some arrows at Dax.
Serpentine.
18 doesn't hit you, right?
Correct.
Okay. Wow. So a bunch of arrows just raining down, missing you. A couple stray spear jabs towards you as you angle the horse out of the way. You even leap over a few smaller Drake Knights that were attempting to swing. And you are doing excellent. And that'll take us back to Dax.
As the horse is running, I'll just kind of pat its side at a girl. So 100 feet till that opening, correct? Where the potions are.
Mhm.
Okay. I am going to use 2 actions to move the 100 feet. Once I get there, I'm going to call ahead to Waltz.
You guys are like, we've talked about this in our text chain. What are you doing? We don't have time.
Yeah, but that was before potions were around.
Oh no, do whatever you want. I'm just
No,
oh,
I think it'll fit into our plan, Taryn.
Hey, I trust you. I'm here for the story, but I am stressed.
I know.
You guys made a plan?
Yeah.
Shut up, Ryan.
Dax is gonna call forward to Waltz. Keep going, I'm right behind you. And then he'll yank back on the reins, and as the horse is barely stopping, he's gonna leap off towards these potions. And I guess I'll let you tell me how much I can do in one action. I would like to just basically open my bag and armful, like just scoop
All right. So
as many potions as I can into my bag.
So with your one remaining action, you can essentially open the door to this storage area and step in, and we'll come back to it in your next turn. You can decide what you want to do.
Perfect.
That'll once again take us to the good Drake Knights. Here's what I'm going to decide. So there's a battle going on between the good Drake Knights and the bad Drake Knights, and I don't know who's
Right.
winning. So I'm going to have Ryan. Do you want to play real quick, Ryan?
Sure.
All right.
Ryan's new character is 100 new characters.
I am all of the Drake Knights.
Ryan,
Loyalty
roll me a
Waltz.
percentage die.
Oh gosh, we're gonna die out for this, huh?
Interesting.
Percentage dies are not my friend.
They are not.
3.
At least this one's a little less intense than the last time I was rolling them. 29.
Wow.
I saw the 20 on the percentage thing, and I was like, I just net 20.
The 2 little zeros are 0, right? Yeah, you just rolled a 3%. That was so funny. Yeah, so you rolled a 29. Okay, so I was having you roll
Yeah.
for the good Drake Knights, and I'm rolling for the bad, and I rolled a 24. So you beat the bad Drake Knights, which
I
means
did
the
it.
good Drake Knights are winning. You see Gorm covered in blood, and he's like,
Keep fighting. We'll take control for Commander Waltz. Yeah, Commander Waltz. Oh
welcome,
my
guys.
gosh, I love this. This is the most action I've ever seen. You're doing great, buddy. Yeah.
and that'll take us back to Waltz. Good job, Ryan.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Waltz doesn't really know that Dax isn't behind him anymore, huh?
Yeah, I called out to you.
You did. You said you were
I
right
guess
behind
I
him, though.
did kind of lie, though.
What do I see now that I'm in the tunnel? That'll
Well,
maybe help me
you
out.
recognize this tunnel. You've been down it. So there's some stairs and then a little bit of a tunnel just with like a dirt floor. And then you get to that room where those guards were hanging out,
Yeah.
yelling about the drakes. And then you go beyond that sturdy door, and then you'll be in just like the big open cave tunnel.
Okay. Yeah, Waltz will keep riding and going down the tunnel until he reaches that vault door where he came out of.
Right. You gallop down the stairs, down the hall, and you ride up towards that vault door, and you just see 2 passed out Drake Knights with ale bottles all over the floor. 2 that were wrestling about the drakes and the drinking too much. And they sort of, what? It's him again. They stand up. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, sir. Did you need something?
Yeah, you guys should probably get back up to the main floor. There's a huge battle. There's a huge
Why are you on a
civil war
horse?
going
What the heck?
on. Because, listen, if you're
Did we see
loyal
this
to
guy
me
like
and
30
my...
minutes ago? He's like completely covered in blood. Why are there arrows in your shield?
Yeah, it's been a really eventful last 30 minutes or so. I'm your new commander.
That's
and
just spitballing time.
there's-
I think we've all kind of lost track of how much time's really passed.
Well, point is, I'm your new commander, and I need you to join in on this
They
civil...
salute you. They just stand up completely still and salute you. We weren't drinking at all.
It's okay, gentlemen. I need you back in the courtyard. There's a civil war going on, and we need more
the
soldiers
heck?
to fight.
Man, we were really out. Sounds like we missed a lot.
How much did we drink?
I told you I thought I heard an explosion earlier. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, what? Yes, sir. And they just start running up the stairs.
Hey, and if you see a little lizard guy, make sure to tell him to hurry up.
Yeah, okay. And they just start running up the stairs. That'll take us back to Dax.
All right, I open the door. What do I see in this room? I mean, I know there are potions from my previous perception check, but what am I seeing now?
Are you trying to spend one turn in here?
I want to spend as little time. I'm basically trying to like scoop and run.
Okay, so you could essentially survey the potions and then pick one you want, or you can just scoop 3 random ones into a bag.
I'm going to open the door frantically, run in, scoop 3 random potions into my bag, and bolt back to the horse.
All right, Dax, you run up to this shelf. You see there's many potions here. You probably wish you knew about this earlier, but you don't have time to scan it all, look it over. You just swipe your arm across, almost turning before you even confirm that they made it into the bag, and they fall into your pouch. You sling it over your shoulder. You hear the vials rattle and clank together, and you book it out of the shop and are able to climb back up on your horse. That is the end of your turn. Ryan, let's roll to see how the Drake Knights are doing again.
I am so down.
Come on, Ryan.
I think he rolls them 2 at it, like each one separately.
Crap!
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Say yours first.
59.
Oh, I got a 6.
Oh my god! You're so bad at it. The tides have
Not allowed to
shifted.
roll percentage die anymore.
I'm so bad at percentage die. I think I just need new dice, period.
You see some of the good Drake Knights on your side starting to get a little scared and overrun a bit, and some of them start to run away, and Glorm and Whisk are like,
Where are you going, cowards? Where are you going? Yeah, come on, quit it. You got 9 lives. I thought you said you didn't believe that stuff. I don't know.
and they just keep fighting, doing their best. And there's going to be a few more attacks available now against Dax. So good going, Ryan.
Oh,
I swear to God,
Ryan.
if you make it so I kill Glorm and Whisk, I'm going to be so pissed.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
I was invited so I could be bullied.
so I could like pawn it off on you. So Dax, as you climb back up on the horse and get situated, you look up and just see a bunch of bows drawn, and they all fire towards you, and you slap the reins to get the horse going just in time, and they sail over your head and just stab into the ground around you. A couple Drake Knights are running up with swords, and you veer out of the way, and their swings come up short, and that takes us back to you, Dax.
Dax is just booking it. I'm going to use 2 actions, move 100 feet, and then I think even use that 3rd action and move an additional 40. Just try to catch up to Waltz as fast as I can.
All right, so you start to go down the stairs, and you see 2 Drake Knights run up the stairwell. They dive out of the way. Oh my gosh, what the heck? And they just jump out of the way, and you ride down the stairs, and you come down towards the base and regroup with Waltz at the fortified door. All right, I'm just going to, for this moment, sort of take you out of combat as you guys discuss freely what you want to do. Drake Knights are coming down. You don't have a ton of time, but you guys can take this moment to discuss some things.
Almost panting from exhaustion and excitement of what's just happened. Oh, Waltz. Oh my gosh, back. And then I will open my bag and take one of the potions out and try to read the label.
Just one of them?
Just one of them for now.
Here, let's see which one you grabbed. Roll me a d4.
Okay. A 3.
You pull out a bulbous-looking vial filled with red, shimmery liquid and a cork on top, and you see the words, Lesser Healing.
A smirk will just kind of fall on Dax's face as he kind of gently tosses it in his hand a little bit before he quickly pulls off the cork, looks to Waltz, bottoms up, and then he chugs it.
Nice.
All right, roll me 2d8 plus 5.
2D.
Tootie.
Somebody's got to say it if Adam's gone.
Yeah.
16.
Nice.
That'll do.
Dang.
You feel a resurging, refreshing feeling within you. You see a bunch of minor cuts start to heal themselves internally. You just feel much, much better.
All right, Waltz, where to?
All right, Dax. I think the only advantage we have right now is they still think Forgost is alive. So maybe we head in his lair right now. After the
Okay.
battle, they'll be pretty exhausted, so I think this should give us a pretty decent head start on getting out of here. Also got some bad news. I saw Dunadast down in the jail when I went to talk to Geldir, and
Dax's head will drop.
Yeah, I'm pretty crushed too, but this is as far as my plan kind of took us. After talking to Geldir, Sindor should probably be here within the hour. So I don't know how much time we have, but we need to have a plan on where to go with that arcanor, what you want to do with it.
Waltz, I guess my plan with the arcanor was to see if Ryu could destroy it. If you remember back in Karos when we were talking to Dunadast, he said that the magic within the arcanor is based off ley lines, and I figure if there's anyone who can withstand destroying this and coming out the other side, it'd be Ryu.
What if Sindor catches us before then, and we don't have time to get it to Ryu?
I guess I don't know. 'Cause you're right. I don't think there's any chance we run away, and I don't think we can go anywhere where he can't find us. Without Jules and Ryu, I don't know that we stand much of a chance to fight him head on. I mean, Dunadas did say that it would, if destroyed, it would release some sort of explosion. I don't know if there's something we can do with that.
Waltz, you would know that he never said that when you were there.
Right.
Waltz will think back to that conversation and realize that he must have missed that, probably when Benjamin was annoying Waltz. I guess that's what he'll think initially.
The problem with that is that I don't think either one of us should be anywhere near it when that happens. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, even then, do we even have any way to destroy it, or?
From what I understand, Waltz, it's pretty fragile.
Waltz will look for his knife, just kind of check his weapons after you say fragile, think what weapons he has on him that could possibly destroy it. Remember that he doesn't have his knife, the one that Dunadas gave him, because it was still in Borik's head. But he does feel something else, and he has an idea, and he will hand that something to Dax. If I can hand something to Dax, Zacharnesty, without you knowing what it is.
Huh?
I do like being in the dark sometimes. You can text in a group text to Adam and Ryan and Joel what the item is, and immediately take a screenshot so you can send it to me later with the timestamp and everything, so I know. As you hand him that item, can both of you roll me a perception check?
Yes. 19.
17.
All right. As the item rests in Dax's hands and you guys make eye contact, starting to formulate whatever plan this is, both of your eyes grow wide and you look up the tunnel as you hear the sounds of clanking swords cease, and you hear,
It's Sindor. Sindor's coming in. Throw it down.
and you hear the sounds of weapons dropping on the ground and feet scuffling around almost like they're trying to get into position, and you hear the sounds of wings flapping and a roar off in the distance start to fill the courtyard. What do you do?
Dex, we got to get going. Hurry. I have an idea. And Waltz will whisper an idea to Dax.
Oh my goodness.
And see what he has to say about
Okay,
it.
I need to know what's going on. Like, you can't just, like, the listeners need to know.
Oh, you
But
will.
like, who
You'll
are you
know all you need
You guys
to.
are the only ones here. Why are you whispering?
Well, he won't whisper, but he will tell Dax.
Just in case God is listening.
He will explain a plan to Dax and ask what Dax thinks.
Wow, you guys are trying to pull a fast one on the old GM here.
We are. Because we know you're just going to say no.
How does it feel, Zach?
I hope you're, like, coming up with something that absolutely would not, like, even fly up to the point you do, and that's why you're not telling me. Your, like, plan is, like, we
It's
put on our
totally illegal.
bulletproof vests and handed each other a rocket launcher.
Hey, how'd you know we got those?
All right, you guys need to text whatever the plan is as well, and I need to be able to verify it. This is wild.
I'm not reading these texts because I want to be surprised too.
I'm intrigued, and I like having fun and being surprised, so I'm going to run with it. But we'll see how this goes to see if this is something I allow in the future. But
Yeah, sweet.
So basically, Waltz and I are going to continue into Forghast's lair until about the center of it, really.
all right, Waltz, you throw open the vault door. No owlbear password needed from this side. You hop on your horses. You give each other an assuring nod, I'm assuming. and you whisper a secret plan that no one can know about.
Yeah.
And you dangle your feet off the horse. Like, this is so much fun. It doesn't matter. I have tons of secrets on my side, too. You guys don't even know. All right.
Sure.
You slap the reins on your horses. Dax's horse looks a little cooler when it rears back because it's a war horse.
Always.
And stomps down and you take off down the tunnel. You have a long road ahead of you, although you're covering a lot of ground on your horse. You know you have probably moments upon Sindor arriving in Scalekeep before he knows that you guys headed down this direction. So you have no time to look back, no time to second guess, just running like the wind. Oh, and as you're all riding down this tunnel with whatever plan you got going on, I just want to say that you all have a hero point, and you're probably going to need it. So, yeah.
Hey!
Heck yeah.
Even though hero points have not been helpful so far.
Do you guys want to say anything to each other in this moment that is still ambiguous enough that the GM doesn't know your secret, or is it all just straight up secret time?
Waltz is definitely just booking it because he knows what he has to do.
Yep.
And he's trying his best to focus on that and mentally prepare for everything that is about to happen.
All right.
As Dax has his head down pushing this horse as fast as it'll go, he's trying to push the whole train of thought about Dunadast out of his mind because he doesn't have the time, he doesn't have the capacity to deal with that right now. He needs to get through the next 30 minutes before he has time to think about the implications of that and how to broach that subject with Waltz and then obviously the rest of the party. So he's going to try to push that out of his mind and just focus on what lies ahead, the inherent risk, the monumental weight of everything that's about to happen. A lot of stars have to align, a lot of puzzle pieces have to fall into place just so for us to have a chance at this. And that's kind of just what's going on in Dax's mind as he tightens these reins on the horse.
Remember, Dax, we don't know where he's going to approach from, so stay hidden.
All right, so the two of you are galloping down this tunnel, and after some time you can finally see the speck of light at the end of the tunnel where Forgoth's lair would be, illuminated by the hole in the roof. You know you're getting closer, the speck is growing larger, and then you feel a chilling, wispy breeze catch up to you from behind. It whistles past your ears and swirls around both of you, gives you goosebumps, sends a shiver down your spine.
Oh, I feel this right now, dude. Wow. God.
And both of you hear,
Eld Waltz of Billerod, son of Marlowe, and Ella, brother of Tomas. I offer you a simple choice. Return the arcanor to Scalekeep, and in exchange, I will return your mother to this plane. Refuse, and you and the rest of your family will join her.
and the breeze disappears, and you continue riding forward.
What the
Holy cow.
Waltz at this point is almost trying to defy all of these what seem like prophecies laid out through his visions and now Sindor's threats. He is going to look down and just shake his head, squint his eyes, and try and refocus himself even more determined because he doesn't believe Sindor. He doesn't believe, one, that he could even return my mother. He just believes him to be evil and have his own schemes at hand. So he's going to keep continuing with the plan. I guess I don't know how much Waltz really reacts to the threats to his family because I feel like he has kind of understood for a while now that if they don't succeed here, a lot of people are going to die. But he has known for a while that that is going to be the cost of his failure. So he knows he needs to succeed. And I guess that even adds to the determination that he has to keep moving forward with the plan.
All right. And Waltz, you noticed when you heard his voice, because you've heard it before, that he sounded a little unhinged, and there was some rage sort of trembling beneath his voice. And you know that he is upset with you guys if you didn't already.
So with that feels, I think, like a familiar feeling because just moments ago, or just not too long ago when he was fighting Boric, I think he ran through the same thing where he felt very defeated, but there seemed to be a point during that fight where he felt like he figured it out and could feel the rage and the desperation. So maybe he kind of senses that, and that motivates him more.
Hearing that, Dax is going to look at Waltz with wide eyes, kind of waiting for a reaction. As this wasn't directed towards him, he obviously understands the gravity of what Sindor was saying. He also kind of recognizes that the tone in Sindor's voice, because, he felt similarly in the cell after what happened with Dunadast. Just a blind rage set out of desperation. So I think we're all kind of feeling like that right now. But yeah, at this point, Dax is just kind of looking at Waltz, waiting to see his reaction since it wasn't really geared towards him.
So I guess what Dax does see is just very heightened focus. Like he doesn't want to acknowledge this or anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys put that behind you. Realize you have to succeed, maybe even more than you felt like you had to originally. And you're starting to feel the stakes of this and know that it's coming to a very decisive point. And with that, you guys enter the mouth of Forgost's lair. You see his scorched corpse laying in the snow as you had before. You notice immediately that it is not as cold in here as it was the last time you were here. And the snow is already starting to become a little bit wetter, softer beneath your feet. What do you do?
So as we reach this lair, Dax is going to look towards Waltz, squint his eyes, and give him one final small nod. And he's going to pull on the left rein and peel off towards where the entrance of Forgost's lair is outside. And before he gets all the way outside, he's going to get off of his horse. Whoa, girl. And then he'll hop off the horse and just start sprinting. He's going to sprint all the way out of Forgost's lair, turn, and start making his way up on top, trying to hop from rock to rock in a way that doesn't leave a ton of footprints, a ton of disturbance in what snow is left, and just try to make his way up to the top.
All right. You're making your way towards the top. You see some of those spare boulders that Waltz and Geldir rolled in. You see some disturbed snow from where Smith was tied up, but also melting. You're starting to see grass beneath it already, kind of slipping as you're running through the snow a bit. And you make your way up to some of the boulders. Is there anywhere specific you want to be?
Not yet. I want to try to find the best hiding spot I can, whether maybe find a nook or cranny between some outcroppings, try to hide myself as best I can, maybe pull some snow on top of me and just kind of hunker down, clenching my bag. I probably won't be able to see super well, but Dax is going to be focusing on listening to everything that's happening as best he can while he's hidden.
All right, Waltz, what are you doing?
So as Waltz enters that cave, everything probably finally slows down for him a little bit. And it'll feel pretty unreal being back in the same area where they killed Forgost and he almost died. And the last place he saw Jules, which probably feels like ages ago. So Waltz will get off his horse and maybe dry his hands. His hands are, I'm sure, are very sweaty. Try and control his breathing. And will look for that tower shield that he found earlier.
All right, you find it where you last placed it. No one's been in here since you guys were.
Waltz will just hold it on his arm and find a place to sit down. He will take this time to reach out to whatever entity has been kind of guiding him this far and trying to meditate and maybe see if I can refocus, or at least start to refocus to the best of my ability. I don't know if this will last 10 minutes or if Sindor gets here prior, but yeah, he'll try to refocus if he can.
Okay. You sit there and you're just trying to be as calm as you can and make the most of the time you have. And Waltz, you hear a growl echoing down the tunnel. You hear a inconsistent mixture of galloping, wings flapping, but it is the unmistakable sound of an approaching drake coming down the tunnel. What do?
Ooh, Waltz is going to be very frightened, but he will just stand up and put his back, I guess, towards the opening that Dax ran out of and just stand there and wait.
It's getting closer
So
and
badass.
closer and closer. Dax, can you roll me a perception check?
I'm scared for
I'm
you
scared for you guys because I don't know what
Oh,
you have
I think
planned,
it's
and I
gonna
might kill you.
Oh, it was on a nat 20, but it rolled off. That
You can count it then.
It's not bad. It's still a 16.
Dax, you hear the sound as well, just a bit more muffled as the lair is beneath you. Your heart is starting to pound, starting to make sure you have control of your breathing, thinking of whatever plan you guys had that I still don't know. And you rest your back against the rock, and you're just trying to think of what you have to do. And something catches your attention in your peripheral, and you look, and you see a tree outside of Forgoth's lair, and you see the wood on it starting to swirl and move in an unnatural way and starts to soften, and out of the tree steps a tall, powerful figure that you would perceive to be no one other than Sindor. He is made of wood and vines that are twisted together, almost looking like the striations of muscles. He has a powerful, lanky build. He has a long beard of leaves flowing as the slightly warmer breeze of Pagos catches it. He has glowing yellow eyes and a mossy hood pulled over his head, and this mossy cloak extends down the rest of his body, typical druid garbs, as his pronged wooden feet start to step through the snow as he walks towards Forgost's lair, giving an exhale as he looks around at his destroyed Pagos, as the habitat is reverting back to the natural climate of Nisserine. He's scanning the horizon, looks towards the mouth of Forgost's lair, and walks towards it. What do you do?
Dax is... Oh, man. Gosh, dang it. So, he's coming in the mouth of Forgast's lair, which is what Waltz has his back to,
Yep.
right? Am I understanding you correctly?
Didn't know Sindor could walk through trees.
But I would hear him, though. I'll be fine. I hear him.
I don't know that you do. At this... But what if he just one-shots you?
Yeah, I guess he probably could.
I think Dax is having a very similar reaction to me right now. I think Dax is going back and forth. Do I give up my hiding spot to potentially save him? Is Waltz gonna notice him? I think at this point, Dax is going to remain hidden, trusting that Waltz is gonna see this coming and continue with their plan.
All right,
That sounds like the wrong... Your facial expression says that was the wrong answer.
just thinking.
Zach makes you feel that way when you say things.
The trick is it doesn't matter what you say. It's always wrong.
Correct.
Waltz, you look down the tunnel and start to see glowing orange eyes. You see exhales of flame exit the nostrils of a drake that is crawling, leaping into the air, doing a few flaps of its wings, crawling some more after you, and then it leaps out of the tunnel and slides through the remaining snow, drifting to a stop, digs its wings into the ground and lets out a loud roar directly at you, spit flying off of its fangs, and then it raises up, expands its wings, revealing its full glory. It has ram-like horns that run back behind its head and then forward into prongs. It has jagged teeth, red skin with orange freckles running across it. It has a barbed tail, and it lets out a long exhale through its nostrils with smoke coming out of it. But it's paused. It seems like it's just trying to block you from passing it and intimidate you. What do you do?
I didn't have enough time to refocus,
No.
did I? That wasn't 10 minutes? Okay. Yeah, Waltz will raise the shield towards the Drake and then take cover action, which I can do while the shield is raised, out of fright, assuming that the Drake is probably going to attack him.
As you put yourself behind the shield, the Drake snorts viciously, asserting its dominance. Dax, do you do anything when you observe this through the opening?
Once Dax hears the Drake roar and make all this noise, he's going to kind of unhide and make his way to the edge of the opening, and then he'll just wait.
Waltz, as you're barricaded behind the shield, focused on this Drake, heart pounding, thinking of the threat that Sindor sent you, all of your hair stands up on the back of your neck as you hear a chilling voice say,
"Of all the vile creatures that lurk Keldora, none take more and give less than humans. And here you are again, trying to rob Keldora of its salvation. It's a pity my plague didn't wipe you all out, and you endured like the pests you are."
And you turn your head over your shoulder and see Sindor standing in the mouth of the cave, silhouetted by the sky behind him. You can see he is clearly tall, powerful build. The wrapped wood and vines I described earlier, his mossy cloak billowing in the wind, same with his long, leafy beard, and his glowing yellow eyes are staring directly at you through the shadow created by his hood. What do you do?
Sindor, you took my mom with that plague. How can you bring her back? And I will maybe open up at 90 degrees to try and keep eyes still on that Drake, but also look towards Sindor. And Waltz will place his back on the wall in between the Drake and Sindor. And I'll pull out my blade.
Sindor smirks, taking note of your drawn sword and shield.
"I have sent her somewhere. I can retrieve her, but only if you give me the arcanor. Now,
How do I know you're not lying?
I don't care if you think that I'm telling the truth, Waltz. Take a look around you. You don't have much leverage."
I'll look at that burnt skeleton of Forgost and say, yeah, well, your leverage is starting to run out.
"And where is this Digsby's crew that's caused so much trouble? I'm down to Drake, sure, but you have no companions at your side."
Yeah, I saw back at Scale Keep that you took another one of mine. Thinking of Dunadas, and Waltz will grip his sword tightly.
"If you're not going to hand over the arcanor in a fair exchange, then I will take it from you."
And he starts to walk towards you. His arm starts to grow into a long, sharp point. His eyes flare, and the Drake takes a few steps closer towards you. Can you all roll me initiative?
Golly.
Dang it.
Dax, I'm scared. 24, baby.
That is an 18.
Those are good initiatives.
Oh, we needed those. We needed those, Daxy. All right, come on, Dax. Come on, Dax. We got this.
I'm f***ing stressed, dog.
What'd they get, Zach?
I hate when Zach laughs. I don't know if it's a crap for him laugh or...
All right, Waltz, you get to go first as you see Sindor walking towards you and the Drake inch close.
Waltz will gulp, essentially. And he will raise his shield and take the ready action.
For what?
Can I text it to Joel
Yes,
and Ryan?
You can. I'm very interested in how you're going to get out of this one.
Okay. I took the ready action. I texted it to the boys.
All right.
I like how even in the text between just us, you still are vague about the plan.
It'll all come to fruition. Well, at least the plan will
The
be
plan will
known,
happen.
whether it works or
I don't know
not.
if it'll work.
We don't. And Waltz, after Sindor says that he's going to take the Arcanor from him, will say, yeah, I was afraid of that.
"You were once but a nuisance, but I see now you and your crew are more than that. Keldora's looming fate has awakened the Gameltor, and it has wrongly chosen you as its champions. There was a time where I would have spared you, but not anymore. I will crush you and everything you represent."
And he thrusts his arm outward that he formed into a sharp point. And this point fractures into a bunch of different splinters, and they fire outward at you, Waltz. So he will roll an attack roll. Your AC is, was it 22 with your shield up?
Yeah.
A bunch of splinters fire out from Sindor's hand. You raise your shield to its full height and brace behind it, and it deals 15 damage to you. as a bunch of splinters pepper your shield. Some fly over, stab you in the shoulder, some hit your leg as you try and get behind the shield the best you can. And that would be the end of his turn because that was a 2-action spell and he walked towards you. So as he sees you're still alive, you see that arm form back again, reshape into a sharp point. How's Waltz looking right now?
Waltz is looking like he is on his last breath.
And that'll take us to Dax.
Oh, thank
As you see the Drake lumbering towards Waltz as well. Dax, what do you do?
Dax is going to reach into his bag and grab the arcanor. And what you'd notice is that the arcanor is now tied to a bag of sunpowder, the item that Waltz slipped him in the tunnels before Forgast's lair. And he'll, with gritted teeth, Dax will wind up and call out to Sindor, "Digsby's crew never left." And then
Nice.
Hell yeah.
hurl it down at Sindor with all of his might.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Let's go.
This will trigger Waltz's ready action, which was to use his tower shield to take cover as soon as he saw Dax throw an item down. So I will take cover behind my tower shield.
Okay.
Is that going to be
I don't
Probably
think so.
Not at this point. Not after I hurt him with my bandages and then he took a stick to the face.
You get a +4 circumstance bonus to reflex saves, so that could help. Can
Yes,
you
it
roll
could.
me a reflex save?
My heart's thumbawumping.
Okay, so I will definitely use my hero point.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
These never go well. Why do we even bother having these?
It went from a 3 to a 4. Okay, so 4 plus 10 plus 4, so 14.
Sure.
Do you guys want to take a guess at how good of a reflex save you need to survive an exploding ley line?
15.
It's definitely not 15. All right.
Sorry, bud.
Waltz, as expected, you see the Arcanor coming in to the lair. Dax looking down with a furrowed brow, throwing it in. You raise your shield towards its landing spot. Sindor whips his head around.
What?
And he also flushes his hands upward like he's trying to channel roots, something to protect him. But before he can do that, the Arcanor strikes the ground, fractures. A flash of light erupts, sparking the sunpowder. Wouldn't even need it as it's unleashing the ley line within a roofed lair. Erupts upwards. Dax, can you roll me a reflex save with a +4 circumstance bonus since you're the one who threw it?
27.
And a furious,
Dax!
colorful explosion ignites. Green, blue, orange light swirling around in a blinding flash of light. Dax, you feel the ground beneath you starts to crumble, fly upwards. You start running away as it's falling beneath your feet and jump and slide down the sloped roof, slipping through the melted snow as it erupts behind you in a powerful, magnificent explosion. And that is where we'll end our session. Man, we'll see how that shield held up. Holy cow.
Waltz is definitely
Yeah, what did you
alive.
have? Like 10,000
This is
HP? You know what? We'll talk
insanity.
about that in the downtime. Everybody shut up. Shut up. Shut up. That was crazy. You guys are nuts. Adam missed a heck of a session to miss. Nobody tell him what happened. We'll just move on to the next session like nothing happened. Oh, holy cow. Wow. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like that's going to be a long episode, but we wanted to get that resolved, you know? I want to figure out what that plan was. You know, they had so much time to scheme. I don't want to give them any more time. Whatever. We'll talk about it in the downtime. So thank you, Joel, for your amazing vocal editing. That's a ton of work. Really appreciate it. This is going to be a beefy one for you to do, no doubt. Thank you so much, Taryn, for your sound effects. Have fun going nuts with the explosions there. All the fighting and scale keep, all the horses. All that stuff. Yeah, very cool. And thank you, Adam. Where are you? What are you doing, Adam? Like, seriously, what's your
Wait
What's
a
your
minute, where's
problem,
Adam?
Did you not want to play? Like,
maybe
okay,
his mic
whatever.
was off.
Guess he's probably like drawing pictures or something.
doesn't even like
By the way,
this.
you should check out his pictures. They are incredible. There's a ton of them on Patreon. He does a session sketch that commemorates a cool moment from every session that the patrons get to vote on. I wonder what it's going to be in this one. Probably a massive ley line explosion.
Let me interject. We call them session sketches. They're like session comic book pages, session works of
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
It is
It's not a sketch.
ridiculous. It is no sketch.
Like when we came up with the idea, like when he pitched this concept, we're like, oh yeah, a little sketch. And then he just started cranking out like 10 panel comic book pages and just like all this amazing stuff. It is incredible. You should really see it. Become a patron. And I would like to thank Ryan. Ryan, hey dude, thanks for hanging out with us, first of all. Like, you know, your character's dead. I mean, did it feel
Thanks,
good to
Ryan.
listen to Waltz die? Whatever,
Yeah.
we could talk about it in the downtime. And thank you for all of your original
I'll do
music,
that.
Ryan. Really incredible. I can't wait to see how you enhance this scene and make it even more epic. Thank you so much, Ryan. You're the man. And yeah, thank you, listener. And we'll see you next time, mortals.
Looking over to Sindor, but he wants to keep his shield raised, definitely, because at any moment, Zach can pull a fast one on me.
You don't feel like a fast one's been
And-
pulled on you yet? Dude, you're standing in between a Drake and Sindor by yourself. What fast one are you worried about?
I got him right where I want him.
Okay, Zach
where I
pulls a
want it.
fast one on me. You were like 100% screwed. I don't know what your plan is.
And can I take the ready action?